Howdy folks, I've got a replay between me and Scooterrene, and I am joined today by none other than Yuah.
Hi. Yuah, not bad.
Yeah, I almost said Yarrow. You know, it's been a couple years since Yarrow and I have cast a game, but that Y came out, and I've done like 100 replays with him, and it almost went to Yarrow. But no, it is Yuah today, who is my new best friend until Yarrow comes back. Maybe still
Uh,
my new best friend after, we'll see. Maybe this will finally get Yabro to come back and cast a game with me. Or maybe the people like you better, it's your audition today. So I'm playing Shadow versus Scooterrene, who's playing Frost. I start with a couple Dread Chargers. I've got them clumped nicely together. I spread them out a little bit to avoid a Glyph of Frost. And I'm maybe gonna made a Nox Trooper, maybe gonna come around to get a nasty surprise. Had a good nasty surprise, but my Dread Charger also gets eaten by the Glyph of Frost. And my Nox Trooper's dead, and yeah, what do you think
oh,
about that trade, Yuah?
I think the nasty at the end was the best thing he could have done there.
Yeah, I agree. I think I
Really
have
got.
slight... Yeah, what's that?
But yeah, actually, the funny thing is, I just noticed now that both are playing Frost and Shadow, and these are both elements that I almost never play, so I really don't have any any valuable input to give.
Yes. Well, yeah, I think slightly power trade is worse for me, and also good for Scooterrene because he has escaped the Haladur bottleneck. So, as good of a win for Scooterrene as could be gained from the tier 1. I think that's a way to put that. So I guess you don't have much to comment on in the tier 1, but I'm playing a tier 2 you're probably a little bit more familiar with, and Scooterrene plays Frost. Uh, and I believe the game published on my channel, it's not published yet, but will be published on my channel right before I publish this one, would be you versus Scooterrene. So we'll have two
Yeah,
games back to back. You can compare our two playstyles.
yeah. It's for me, it's really impressive how good Scooter has gotten with Frost. Uh, I feel like he's practiced a lot.
I agree. His playstyle, I think, is still degenerate, but he is now playing degenerate with skill, and I can't complain about that.
How is it degenerate?
He just like plays to really high power levels, just tries to defend and outscale you.
I feel like with Frost, I feel like it's kind of valid to do that when you're playing Frost. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's definitely when I think of the general playstyles, the only person I can think of is usually Twinsen.
Um,
No,
I'll,
no,
no
no
comments
bad
there.
mouthing here.
So Scooterrene has a massive tier 1 army. He's I think pretty convincingly winning the tier 1. Luckily for me, if I go tier 2, I just need one bandit minefield and the tier 1 advantage is gone. So that's probably what I'm going. No, I decided I wanted to take a well. Probably I was thinking that I can outscale Scooterrene in the tier 2. Although again, if we get to a tier 3 where he's got like 6 cards, that's a little bit different. But I don't know what he's playing in tier 3, right? Because I've seen games where he plays literally 2 tier 4 cards.
Tier 4?
2 of them, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. I've never had a game versus him where he went to T4.
Yeah, I have.
Uh,
I mean, lots of
I
times in like 2v2, but I've seen a 1v1. I've seen him pull out Jorn and Ice Tornado. So I
against
really
you.
don't know what he's carrying in his deck. I'm escaping to tier 2 amid Scooterrene's very convincing tier 1 lead.
Yeah. Um, I kind of feel like in order for a person to go tier 4 in a 1v1, uh, something needs to go wrong, because I think usually that's very very hard to pull off. Pretty impressive of him.
Alright, so I've made a Nightcrawler. I'm going to come around the top, try and get a split attack. I think Scooterrene was doing pretty well, but now he's taking the second ground presence, and this is a very good angle for me to attack. So he's going tier 2 also, although the downside here is that he is taken an extra greedy well. Bandit Manfield trades very well against his Master Archers, and he is going to snipe my Nightcrawler, but my tempo lead should be very significant. I'm also getting to play more tier 1 units to fight my tier 2 units. Yes, but overall, I think Scooterrene is not in too much danger. We'll see. This is getting close, though. It's getting interruption range, and he has kobolded it, and my attack is over. So Scooterrene has successfully defended the +1 well. However, he's got still a bunch of tier 1 units, so I could still be out trading him,
Oh yeah,
perhaps.
I didn't think of that. When you play bandits with a shadow starter, you still take the eruption, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can't play without the eruption. You know, just kind of like you can't really play without live weaving. You can play without nasty surprise or motivate, which is why I think shadow is a little bit better starter. Because if I play fire starter, I usually don't take those 2 cards. You do though, so.
Yeah, I usually don't run nasty in bandits.
Do you run aura?
No. I tried it at the beginning, but I kind of felt like it didn't really align with the playstyle.
Yeah, I feel
so...
the same way. By the way, I do have a pretty nice tempo advantage here, so I think there's a fairly good chance I'm gonna kick a well here. He's got a bunch of units spread out in tier 1, not really in the fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Aura, I think, is not really doing a ton. I think it's pretty essential for area control sometimes, but I think the nasty surprise also gives me some of that area control I need. So with the shouted tier 1, I usually don't take aura. And yeah, the more I can make Scooterrene make units, then we start to reach a point where I can get some juicy lava fields. Although it should be noted that he is up a well this whole time.
Also, a bit unfortunate. He has a unit in the top right, waiting to take another well. I think he should have just built an ice barrier and kicked it.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. I'll go again. That ice barrier would be 20 tempo more that he doesn't have. I mean, he'd get it back pretty soon, but he might be a little bit worried that he's in danger of losing something here. And yeah,
nice
you can
dodge
see
of the freeze, very nice.
What's that? Oh, with my Windhunter, yes, thank you. You also notice that right now I haven't been building any rallying banners. I think that Frost doesn't really have the burst. And I didn't really want to waste that 50 power. So yes. But yeah, you can also see I'm starting to... What's that?
Really smart. Really, really smart. Yeah, I never thought of that. Skipping the rallying banner.
Yeah, and so I am able to kick the well. Thank you. And I've got another attack going on over here. And yeah, I mean, I do want to be clear, this is a pretty tough matchup for Frost. But you'll see, well, you'll see how it goes. You can see the game is not over yet. Now is the point where I feel like the power levels are high enough that it's kind of worth bringing that rallying banner off. Especially because he's played Big Glyph of Frost, so now he can't Kobold Trick. Scooterrene is also defended on the top right. And, yes, but, you know.
By the way, little meta question.
Yeah.
Was this game played with your bad internet?
The only internet I have, yeah.
Ah, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, I did not visit Europe in between. You know, I did not visit Europe yesterday and come back. No.
Who knows? Maybe you really want to beat Scooter.
Yeah, so this Scooter's got a pretty big tier 2 army. Yeah, and I'm again attacking both sides to try and pressure him to keep his.
Really, really unfortunate for him that his whole army is down there, basically. And very well played of you, like the splitting and shifting focus to the top.
Thank you. Yes, this is the point where we would say the game is over, but Scooter's about to start playing to his strengths, and that's the part where this game is not so easy for me to finish out. But yeah, I've kicked 3 wells so far.
Yeah, six wells versus 4, and I think you kicked 3 because you had 1 more. Really, really strong. I can't imagine him coming back from that.
Yeah, well, you know, just wait.
But I see the length of the replay, so we'll see.
Yeah, at this point I'm being a little bit eruption happy. I think I've kind of like, I feel like I've won.
If you want to save your,
Well, it's like, you know, I'm being a little bit lazy because it's like, oh, well, easy win. So stop trying. But yeah, this is where Scooterrene gets really dangerous, right? You know, because
Yep.
I have a big power advantage, but the void power is still, you know, fairly high. We both had a lot of wells for a long time.
Yeah. And the frost snowball is it's very surprising how strong it is. Like
Yeah, I mean,
even from a disadvantage, if he has like multiple eagles and also some, what is their names, Sky Templars,
yeah.
sometimes they can just overwhelm you. Even when you're on tier 3, happened to me a lot of times.
Yeah. Also, because there's no aura, right? I think aura is
Yeah.
the biggest thing that's gonna help me, but I don't have it in this deck, so I'm going tier 3. And again, that idea is that
Ooh.
I can get tier 3 in time. Maybe I can get some nice, nasty surprises to clear his armies.
Yeah,
And
I
he
think
is,
that was very bold to take the tier 3 there and not at the top.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, so far I'm defending it. And you can see I've got plenty of power. Lancer comes out, and I'm gonna nasty it and kill his eagle. There we
Nice.
go. But he's still, you know, he's kind of forcing me to play the Wind Hunters.
No
Lava
dodge.
Field
Yeah.
to get his ground presence out, but I think my orb is still going to drop. But I'll have a pretty big tempo advantage after this. I can start rebuilding my tier 3. And he's going tier 3. And there's no way I'm going to let that survive. Well, you know, the replay doesn't end, so maybe I will, but there should be no way I let it survive.
I feel like playing the Bandit Spearman when you have tier 3 on the way was a bit premature, but makes sense that you want to kick it.
Yeah, I wanted to get as much out there as soon as possible. Also, I'm carrying Shadow Phoenix, so I wanted the corpses and the Bandit Stalkers to... But yeah, probably it was not worth it. I should have just
Cultist
played a little more patient, saved my
so
power.
are you running Lancers and Cultist for tier 3, or is there
Yeah,
anything else?
Lancers and Cultists, that's my tier 3.
Makes
So no
sense.
Soul
Yeah.
Hunter.
Do you think it's stronger than the Soul Hunter?
At low power levels, I think you're going to see, like, this is the weakness of the tier 3 that I have, is that the fact that I'm really winning, at some point I run out of charges, and it just, I can't continue the attack, you know?
Yeah, that was my experience as well. I tried it. As soon as the game became longer and there was too much power involved, there was just nothing I could do with Cultist Masters.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see the game, right?
But so far it's like we're going really well. Like I'm surprised this game is still going to go on. Like it seems like you have this in the bag.
That is how I was feeling as well. But Scooter is the master at, you know, pulling wins pulling wins out of nowhere, or maybe not wins precisely, but at least holding on.
Shield building at this
I
point?
should just nasty my my guy here. I was just being a little greedy that I did nasty. I should just nasty it immediately. And yeah. Now here's an Avatar Frost, and I have no idea how I'm supposed to kill this. Soul Hunter would do it, but yeah.
Life Weave is good if he falls
Yes.
for it.
But it also requires him to not be paying attention, right?
Yeah.
I'm making
Oh yeah,
a
you're in a tough spot now.
sneak attack on the side, yes. And now we potentially get to a place.
It's kind of funny. This is exactly the thing that happened to me. The one single time I played Bandits with Cultist Masters is I had to fight Avatar Frost. And I had a huge advantage and I lost. I don't know if you're going to win or lose yet, but it's funny how similar this game is so far.
Yes, well, do keep in mind I've got a huge power advantage. And yeah, so I was able to double her up to kick his tier 3. And my
Very
tier 3 is
nice.
probably falling, but, you know, he's back down to tier 2. He's doing an excellent job with Glyph of Frost at keeping my Cultist Masters occupied. I will say Scooterrene, he really makes Glyph of Frost look top tier.
Yeah. He makes good use of it.
Yep.
I don't know if that's a dumb idea, but probably at this point I would go for more bandit lancers instead of cultist masters, because at one point you could just motivate them if you have enough of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
I probably should do that.
And the cultist masters just get frozen, and when that happens, they provide no value at all.
Right.
Almost.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is though also that if I can get some corpses, then my Shadow Phoenix get really enabled. But yeah, I think I'm not playing this quite right here. I think I should be spending more of my Cultist Masters on attack. But yeah, you can see I'm starting to spam Lancers here. It's just charges are starting to get kind of low. I'm also not that great at using Motivate. I think Motivate on somebody like this Lancer maybe would be worth it. And yeah, I think I'm just kind of accepting that I'm going to be base trading. And so I was like, you know, I'm just going to stop defending the Avatar Frost. I'm just going to try to base trade faster. Got another well from Scooterrene.
Oh, this hurts so much to watch. The Avatar Frost just demolishing your base.
Yes. But yeah, I'm trying to keep an attack going. I think the Shadow Phoenix also does a really good job. I kind of consider the Shadow Phoenix to be like my third tier 3 card. But yeah, in a situation where it's just one orb, the splash damage is not so valuable. And the Avatar Frost does drop my tier 3 spot. I'm also hoping that if I can distract him and I don't play Life Weaving, that he'll forget that Life Weaving is an option I have. And then I can sneaky trick him with the Life Weaving. I think I just had a nasty surprise here to clear out most of his units. And yes, I am tier 2 against his tier 2. And we've discussed, we've shown that my tier 2 does beat his tier 2.
Yeah.
I just can't handle the Avatar Frost. It's kind of interesting how Avatar Frost suddenly becomes much better when Giant Slayers leave the meta, you know?
Yeah, yes, definitely. The card is kind of reliving a renaissance. Just,
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad of a card. It's just like it either counters you really hard or gets countered really hard. And
yes, definitely.
Giant Slayers and Grigori, which are kind of like two of the most popular cards in the meta, both counter Avatar Frost really hard. But I think they're both cards are much less popular in the meta than they used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
We got my tier 3 back up. But here I feel like I realize it's going to be really tough, right? Because I'm out of charges, and Scooterrene just played his first Tremor. So yeah, my chargers that are left, I mean, these Cultist Masters only cost 60 power, so they recharge. I can get another one every 60 seconds. But yeah, it's a tough challenge, And we're left that I have one well, and Scooterrene actually has 2 wells because he's been rebuilding wells. Actually, he's got a bunch of wells. Never mind. But these are about to drop, so. Yep.
Oh yeah, they're almost run out.
I've lost that well too, so now I am on 0 wells. But my void should be way higher than Scooterrene's, just because I've had.
This is a weird thing.
Uh-huh.
This is a weird thing in games. In longer games, it sometimes happens to me. It's like the wells, it reaches a point, usually the starting wells, where you're unsure whether you should try to kick them or just let them run out. I don't know where that point is. Is there like a meta for that?
Well, it's a pretty subtle thing, but yeah, I think the point where we should be focusing on wells ended probably 5 or 10 minutes ago. Because we Scooter and I both had like 6 wells for most of the game. So we got more than 1,000 void power, which is, 20 power per 2 seconds. So our power flow is very high.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, you can see I'm basically spawning units one at a time now because I'm out of charges. So I just wait every 30 seconds for a new charge and then play it.
The minefield's not going off completely.
Yeah, was not a great minefield. Minefield is tough to play without really good internet. But I'm
Oh, I
thinking he's
believe
out of
so.
charges for Cobalt Trick and things like that, right? So, Scooterrene is also back to tier 2. And yeah, his home base wells have dropped. So Scooterrene is up to 2 wells, which are just these 2 wells here, and he's tier 2. And I am tier 3, and I did decide to take this well, I think a few minutes ago. I didn't catch in the replay where exactly I took that. How do you think this game's gonna go, Yuah?
Sorry, I was just thinking those freezes have to hurt so much. The freezes from the timeless one. Whenever you play Cultist Master, he's right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. From experience, I feel like he's going to outscale you.
Uh-huh.
Just because, even though I think Bandits tier 2 is better, I feel like Frost can snowball better with
Yeah.
the sheer number of units.
He's going his tier 3 back up.
My game knowledge is not that high at the end of the day, so I just play intuitively.
Well, you know, you're very
I
good
would
for
really
your game
rely
knowledge
on my...
being where you say it is.
Oh, I see you're building.
I'm building? Oh, yes.
Your wells.
Yeah, I realized that actually having 1,000 void power means I'm getting like 20 void per second anyway, so having a well actually increases my moment-to-moment power level. Should probably nasty
Oh,
this
looks
guy.
like a good nasty.
Is that what I'm trying to do?
No, never
Oh,
mind.
probably that's what happened, and I just lagged and stood there. Wind Hunter, you know, Wind Hunter's still a very good card against him, but yeah, Scooterrene's taking another well, and it is looking pretty rough for me.
Yeah, it is. It's
Especially because you saw how
Cultist
poorly I fared against that Avatar Frost. So as soon as he has power to get another one, you know,
yeah, definitely. I'm just like checking the whole map to see where it pops up. I mean, he's
Yeah.
probably gonna play it at your base that he's attacking.
No, you don't want to make Avatar Frost dazed.
No, doesn't he have the shield?
I'm actually not sure if he has a shield, but that like
I'm sure he has it. I think even when he's dazed. So
okay.
I think it's one of the best cards to play dazed because of that reason.
Interesting. Oh, I'm out of Rallying Banner charges. That's another advantage given by the fact that my very early attack didn't have Rallying Banner because I ran out of Rallying Banner charges at some point. And yeah, I'm back to tier 3.
Oh my god, I've never heard anyone running out of rallying banner charges.
Well, you know, that's what happened. Alright, not a great dodge, but Shadow Phoenix at the bottom is gonna fall. Yeah. He has Cobalt tricked his base in time. Do you recall if we've seen a shield building from Scooterrene yet? I'm not sure if he's playing it.
By the way, do you know if the Sky of Templar or the Wind Hunter wins in an even fight?
I don't know actually, but the Wind Hunter definitely wins overall because you can play buffs.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's pretty close, but I'm not sure. I guess it'd be the Wind Hunter wins. Because I know, I know with Ravage, the Skyfire Drake wins.
Yeah.
And you can see I'm spawning these days units because there's no rounding gunner. I used it up here. And I have realized something, which I don't know if Scooterrene has realized, and I don't know if you've realized, except that you've seen the link of this replay. Have you realized what I realized, Yuah?
Score?
Yeah, exactly. Because I had all that power more than him in the beginning. My score is much higher. So really the question is, can I survive for 5 more minutes? So as long as I keep attacking, then he won't be able to overrun everything, and that is my challenge. Just, can I survive for 5 more minutes?
Yeah.
You know, of course, that's also
Man,
right. Scooterrene.
I just keep wishing you had the Soul Hunter. The game would be over by now.
Maybe, right? But also maybe my attacks wouldn't have succeeded if I had taken a different card.
Maybe.
Right? I mean, I don't think I can give up Cultist Master, and I don't think I can give up Bandit Lancer. So the question is, do I give up a tier 2 card for Soul Hunter? And that tier 2 card would probably be Spearman. And
well, I decided that without I can live without the Cultist Master, even though it's a great card.
Interesting.
I feel like Lancers and Soul Hunters are good enough as a combo in most scenarios.
Okay. Well, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. My guess, I don't think Soul Hunter would do particularly well against Frosta, right? Because you can just like Cliff of Frost and Lightweight it, and literally in tier 1, Scooterrene can permanently CC that Soul Hunter.
You're running Disenchant Green, right?
Probably purple.
Oh.
Because, yeah. I mean, what's my good Disenchant Green target in this deck?
Soul Hunter.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not
right,
in
you're
the
not
deck,
running it,
right?
So that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think, like, in general, Bandits is winning against decks that can CC a lot anyway. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I still think my deck is very optimal. I think I should nasty this Bandit Lancer. No, he got it in time. Yeah, I think my deck is, well, obviously I think it's this way because I built it this way, but I feel still good about this deck. I think it just makes the matchup here, which is winning, slightly less winning, but I think it's still winning, you know. But yeah, this he's gonna drop my orb. Just I can't do anything.
This is it's painful to watch.
Not quite in time. But again, not that painful, right? Because I have to survive 2 more minutes. That's the question.
Yeah, true.
2 more minutes.
Forgetting that you're on the road to victory.
Your forces are under attack.
I don't think he's noticed it.
I also don't think he's noticed it because also he can start score pushing. You know how to do that?
Yes, you mean the canceling rebuilding a monument?
Yeah, exactly. And you're gonna see me start to do that right now, actually, because I think there's like even if I'm if I'm not tier 3, I don't think he's gonna kill everything in time. So I've got my Nightcrawler at the top. I think I'm gonna start score pushing right now. Yeah. So for those who aren't familiar, when you cancel a monument, it gives you 75 power back instead of like going to the void. It gives you 75 power back immediately, which means that it's a very fast way to increase your score because score is simply the amount of power you spent. So in this way, you basically spend 100. You know, you get 100 score points for only spending 25 power. And the downside is that that 25 power doesn't come back to the void, but the game's going to be over in 3 minutes, so it wouldn't come back to the void anyway. So that's why the score pushing is an effective method here, right? Downside being that I'm tier 1 versus tier 3 because I'm not actually building that orb. But yeah, so here's the end. We got 50 seconds left.
He's also not doing it, which is unfortunate. I think he could. I mean, how much are you ahead?
I'm ahead by a good 3,000.
3,000 points.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But again, that moved from probably being ahead by like 1,000 to 3,000 because I don't know about that, but I was score pushing pretty hard there, right? So,
yeah. Good move.
But yeah, he's got a lot of map control, so it's possible if we had reached a situation where he could score push on 2 fronts and I'm score pushing on 1 front, maybe it comes out. But yeah, so that was the game, Yuah. We got a couple seconds before it ends, but the ending I think is known right now. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts? You ever seen somebody time out Frost before?
Yeah, I'm a bit I'm a bit at a loss for words. It was a really nice game. Also, I'm happy you got the win at the end, because Frost is like one of my least favorite decks to play against. So this was very satisfying. Yeah, it kind of went the way I expected.
Interesting. You expected
Except
me
for
to time
the
out at the end.
not except for the score fishing. I mean, I expected Frost to kind of build up strength and get more overwhelming as time goes on.
Uh-huh.
So I actually I thought you would lose in the long run, but played it very nicely. So yeah, great game from both parties.
Well, thank you. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. I think Scooterrene did an excellent job here as well. And that's why I don't feel, Scooter and I play a bunch. There's games where I win in 2 minutes, games where he wins in 2 minutes. I thought this was a
Yeah.
good, it's a 30-minute game. So neither of us made a critical mistake, or at least a super obvious critical mistake. Well, anyway, that's the game. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you like Yuah as a co-commentator and if he should continue doing so. Thanks for watching.